Our focus is going to be on solving for a variable in a one-step fraction equation by using inverse operations, reciprocals, and then checking your work. So again, the structure of solving for a variable is going to stay very much the same. We're just going to increase the difficulty a degree by adding in fractions. So if I have this for a fraction problem to where I have a 6-foot piece of fruit snack is cut into two pieces. What is the length of the shorter piece of the fruit snack? So I have 6 is my answer. So I'm going to write my equation. 6 is my answer because that's my total. And then I had 3 and 3/4. And I want to know what is going to be the length of the shorter piece. So I'm going to be solving for x. So if you remember, when we are adding and subtracting fractions, we are going to need to use like denominators. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my inverse operation. So because I added here, I'm going to subtract 3 and 3/4 from both sides. Now remember, part of my expectation is that I see your work showing me the step that you took, showing me that inverse operation. And so when I do that, 3 and 3/4 cancel each other out, and so I'm left with x equals. So now I'm going to solve by subtracting 3 and 3/4 from 6. So if you recall last year, what we did is when we had whole numbers subtracting a mixed number, the first thing I did was I took my 6 and I regrouped it. So I'm going to turn it into a fraction. So by turning it into a fraction, I'm going to regroup. I'm going to make this a 5. And then I'm going to write a fraction over here. Now, if you remember that a whole is equal to the numerator and denominator being the same value, I want to use a denominator of 4. So because I have 3/4. So if this is going to be 4, my numerator needs to be 4 to represent a whole. Now I'm simply going to subtract my numerators. So 4 subtract 3 is going to be 1/4. 5 subtract 3 is going to be 2. So we have x is equal to 2 and 1/4. Great, solved the problem. I can move on. Except for the fact that I said that your focus for today is going to be using inverse operations, which we did, reciprocals, which we did not do because we're not multiplying or dividing, and checking your work. I've not checked my work. I need to make sure that x is equal to 2 and 1/4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my original physical setup. So I'm going to do 3 and 3/4, and I'm going to actually set my problem up horizontally. It's okay because the denominators are the same, equals, or added to 2 and 1/4 equals 6. So this is equal to 6. So 4 and 1 is equal to 4/4. 3 and 2 is equal to 5. Well, I know that 5 and 5/4 is equal to 6. So 6 is equal to 6. So my equation is balanced. There's my check. So I know that x was equal to 2 and 1/4. Remember, these are some of the things I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to tell me what x is equal to. I'm looking to see my proof on every problem. A good mathematician is going to go back and check their work to make sure that the steps they've taken are correct. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we are going to do a problem on where we're going to do subtraction equation. So if I take a look at a subtraction equation, I have y subtract 4/9 equals 5 and 1/3. So y subtract 4/9 equals y and 1/3. So I don't have the like denominators here. I have a 9 and I have a 3. So I know that that's going to be a step that I need to do when doing this problem. To get y by itself, I need to do the inverse operation. So I look and I have subtraction. The inverse operation is addition. So I'm going to add 4/9 to both sides, and I get 5 and 1/3. So y is going to equal 5 and 1/3 added to 4/9. So I'm going to do my work off to the side and just set it up to where my problem is vertical because it makes it easier when I need to do equivalent decimal or equivalent fractions, which I do. I need to get 1/3 to equal ninths or ninths to equal third. Well, if I reduce here, I don't have a common denominator. I don't have a common factor. 4 divided by 2, I cannot do 9 divided by 2. So I got to make 1/3 into ninths. So it's going to be equal to 3 ninths because I multiplied both the numerator and the denominator by 3. So I have 5 and 3 ninths plus 4 ninths is going to be equal to 5 and 7 ninths. Great. Done, right? Nope, you're right. I need to go back and I need to do the check. So when I go back to do the check, I'm going to go back to that original problem. So I'm going to go back to this problem and I'm going to substitute. Again, that's part of the process of solving for a one-step fraction. I'm going to use my inverse operations, which I did here. And then I'm going to check my work by going back to my original problem. So I have, well, it's not y anymore. Whoopsies. Let's erase that. It's going to be 5 and 7 ninths. And I'm going to go ahead and set my problem up vertical for my check. Added to 4 ninths. And that needs to be equal to 5 and 1/3, except for the fact that I am not adding here. I am subtracting. So I'm going to change this to a subtraction symbol. Okay. So again, here, if I take a look, 7 subtract 4, I can go ahead and do that because 7 is greater than 4. So 7 subtract 4 is going to be 3 ninths. 5 subtract nothing. I don't have anything here, so it just brings it down. Now I need to simplify, so I'm going to bring my work up here. 5 and 3 ninths. If I divide this by 3, I end up with 5 and 1/3 equals 5 and 1/3. It balances out. So my equation is good. Okay. We're going to do a couple more of these before I move into multiplying and dividing fractions and solving for a variable. So I'm going to go to number 2 in your guys' guided practice on page 109 to where I have t subtract 2/3 equals 25 and 3/4. So t subtract 2/3 equals 25 and 3/4. So my first step is going to be identify the inverse operation. So I come over here, it's subtract 2/3. So my inverse operation is going to be add 2/3. So when I add 2/3, I need to add 2/3 to both sides. And I'm going to go ahead and set my problem up vertical. So that way I have room to make these equivalent fractions because I don't have like denominators. So a common denominator for 3 and 4 is going to be 12. So this is going to be 9/12 because I multiplied by 3. And then this is going to be 12s. And it's going to be 8/12 because I multiplied by 4. Now I'm going to add my numerators, 9 and 18. I get 17/12. When I get 17/12, that tells me that I have an improper fraction I need to regroup. So right now my answer is 25 and 17/12. Well, I'm actually going to leave this right now for an answer, and I'm going to come back to it in a minute. I'm going to simplify at the end. So right now I have t is equal to 25 and 17/12. And I'll explain to you why I'm going to do the simplifying at the end instead of in the middle. And it has everything to do with that check. So if I do 25 and 17/12 and I subtract 2/3, I need that to equal 25 and 3/4. Now, this is why I didn't simplify it at the end of my problem, because 25 and 17/12 is going to be easier to do as a improper fraction than having to find a common denominator, because I can just take the 2/3 and I can make that into 8/12. And now I can just simply subtract 17 and 8 and I get 9. So I have 9/12 and I have 25 and 9/12 equals 25 and 3/4. So 25 and 3/4. So I need to simplify. So I divide this by 3 and I get 25 and 3/4. So are these two values equal? Yep, these two values are equal, so it's balanced. Now, one of the things that I require that you guys do, and every math teacher from here out is going to require you to do, is you're going to tell me what t is equal to. So we're going to go back and we're going to make sure that we simplify it. Now, because I know that t is the correct value, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to simplify that to where I don't have an improper fraction. So I have 25 and 17 twelfths. And when I take a look at that, 17 twelfths, just take a look at the 17 twelfths. 12 goes into 17 one time with 5 left over. So 17 twelfths is equal to 1 and 5 twelfths. Well, if I add my 1 and 5 twelfths to 25, t is going to be equal to 26 and 5 twelfths. So when you're solving for a fraction and you're adding and subtracting, I would always do your simplifying. So always do this step last, because it makes it easier to do the check if you are using your improper fraction. It saves you a step. Okay? All right, let's do one more problem. So if I have, let's see. So I'm looking at number 3 now. V added to 5/8 is equal to 9 1/3. So again, first step I need to do is I need to get the variable by itself. To get the variable by itself, I look for the operation I'm doing addition. The opposite of addition is subtraction. And then I'm going to subtract the value behind the plus sign. So I'm going to subtract 5/8, and that gets V by itself. So on this side, I'm going to subtract by 5/8 as well. So before I do anything else and get these into common denominators, I'm going to go ahead and take a look and see if I have to regroup. So I determine which is the bigger fraction, 1/3 or 5/8. Well, 5/8 is the bigger fraction, so I need to regroup the 1/3 into, I need to make it a larger fraction. So the 9 is going to become an 8, and then this, if you guys recall, I take my place value, or I take my denominator, which is 3, and I add that to my numerator. So 3 plus 1 is 4. My new numerator is 4. Common denominator between 8 and 3 is going to be 24. So this is going to be equal to, if I multiply this by 8, I get 24, 32 24ths. 5/8 is going to be 5 times 3 is 15. And then I have 15/8. I subtract 32, subtract 15, and I get 17/8. So now my answer is V equals 8 17/8. So I'm going to leave this value alone while I do my check. So I'm going to go 8 17/8 added to 5/8. I did this. Now see how much easier this is on the check? I don't have to do any changing in my denominators because I left it in improper fraction. So I just add 17 and 5. 17 and 5 is going to be 22 eighths. And then I have 8. So 8 and 22 eighths is equal to 9 1/3. Now I need to simplify and see if it's going to be. So 8 goes into, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to regroup. 8 goes into 22 twice. So if I did 8 plus 2, that's 10. Ooh, that tells me that this isn't going to work. So I need to go back and I need to redo this problem and take a look at it and see if it's going to work. So I'm going to go back to my original problem, and I'm actually going to have to do a new video for this step. So hang on just a second, and you guys will need to go watch the second video on how I would correct my error when this doesn't work.